Imagine plunging into a world where dreams of flight shattered into chaos. The story so far unveiled Gorinich's aviation adventure during the pandemic, surrounded by elite CEOs and businessmen like him enrolling in private pilot schools. He bonded deeply with his instructor, Maxim, a man obsessed with planes from childhood, tracking them on Flight Radar 24 and honing his expertise. What if a simple pandemic hobby sparked a hero's transformation into a legendary warrior? The kind that humiliates invaders with ingenuity, turning leisure jets into thunderous destroyers of empires. Imagine the rumbles, the acrid smoke, and the iron grip on controls that shifted fate. Maxim's passion ignited early, at just 6 years old. He dreamed aloud to his parents, declaring his future as a pilot. Obsessed, he poured hours into sites like Flight Radar 24. Tracking aircraft across regions. Studying each one. Deepening his knowledge daily. When he came of age, he entered the National Aviation University. Completed his first solo flight in 2017. Got his license soon after. Instructors, amazed, invited him to teach aspiring pilots. He accepted eagerly. First as an instrument instructor. Then, a multi-engine one. Later, a night instructor. He mentored hundreds, including Gorinich. Soon, the thrill escalated. He received an offer, as a Boeing 757 pilot. With a new airline. Supernova Airlines. Scheduled to start training in 2022. He pictured a blazing career in commercial skies. Carrying passengers through endless horizons. Feeling the jolt of takeoff vibrate beneath him. Gorinich kicked off 2022. With hope in his veins. Invited to join the government's massive construction project. Improving the nation's infrastructure. Roads humming, air filled with dust and cement scents. Tools clinking like distant thunder. But then, the invasion struck. Like a cold gust extinguishing flames. Dreams dissolved into nightmare. Hopes evaporated. For both men. Shortly after despair set in. Gorinich volunteered for the military. No training. No background. Yet, a burning drive to defend Ukraine. To feel the weight of patriotism on his shoulders. The echo of boots on soil. Unlike others, his government ties opened doors. A high-profile contact offered a path. Special Operations Forces. Sabotage missions. Occupying territories. He grabbed it, contacting Maxim. Who joined without hesitation. They trained rigorously, then deployed to Donetsk. Working with Avenger unmanned aerial vehicles. These light aircraft-style UAVs had a tactical radius of 25 miles, 40 kilometers. Dropped bombs up to 8 pounds, 3.5 kilograms. Targets crumbling under the impact. Then, returning to base. Parachutes whispering through warm air. Landing with a gentle thud. Smells of burnt fuel lingering. What devastating twist would propel Gorinich from trainee to inventor, building a machine that drones Russia to its knees? Where will it strike next? The air thickens with tension, as one man's vision teeters on the edge of revolution. What bombshell waits in the shadows? The previous steps had shown Gorinich's unwavering determination. Now, he needed a skilled team. He sought out expert engineers with the talent to transform the Sky Ranger. The original design simply wouldn't do. It required drastic modifications. The aircraft had to be more than just a recreational plane. He envisioned an aircraft that could take off autonomously, maneuver with precision, and land safely, all without a human pilot. Additional fuel tanks needed installation to extend its range. Military-grade navigation and communication systems had to be integrated for reliability. Most importantly, it needed weaponry, bombs capable of devastating targets deep behind enemy lines. Gorinich's goal was clear: turn this civilian aircraft into a lethal tool for attack. And somehow, he succeeded. Accessing the Army's stockpile, he found an enormous cache of Soviet-era aviation bombs, OFAB 120 units, perfect for his purpose. He then gained entry to a secret training ground, where his team practiced sorties and refined their payloads. Piece by piece, the plan took shape. The aircraft's frame was meticulously modified, autopilot systems installed, structural reinforcements added, and fuel capacity increased. He envisioned its strikes reaching hundreds of miles into enemy territory, carrying out precise, destructive missions. But victory wasn't guaranteed. By 2023, Gorinich realized political obstacles would prevent his bomber from entering official service within special operations. The project had to find a new path. A different unit was needed, one with more independence. Fortunately, such a unit already existed, the 14th Regiment of Ukraine's Unmanned Systems. Formed by colleagues named Fidel and Kasper, this elite team saw the potential. They reached out to the country's top military leader, convincing him of the importance of drone strikes, both tactical and strategic, on the battlefield. Soon, the regiment came for a visit. Gorinich and his team showcased their creation, the modified Sky Ranger bomber. The aircraft lifted smoothly into the air, executing precise aerobatics before striking a mock target, the skeleton of a training tank. The command staff was stunned by its accuracy and potential. The moment of truth had arrived. The sky itself was about to witness the rise of a new kind of weapon, one born from innovation, determination, and a daring vision to change the course of the war. Aware of the woman's disdainful stares piercing his back like icy darts, he pushed through the training ground's heavy metal door. The musty scent of damp earth and aviation fuel lingered in the air, mixing with the sharp tang of oil. There, representatives from the 14th Regiment of the Unmanned Systems Forces arrived, eager to witness if the modified Sky Ranger could soar beyond a mere toy into a lethal weapon. Legend had he and Maxim, with their team, unveiled the bomber. It launched skyward with a roar, slicing through gusty winds. It executed sharp aerial turns, the engine's hum vibrating through the earth. Then, it plunged, dropping a bomb that shattered the training tank's skeleton in a deafening blast. Smoke billowed, and metal shards clanged against the ground, the acrid burn of explosives stinging nostrils. The regiment's commanders stood silent, faces etched with awe. Could a humble ultralight aircraft truly humiliate Russia's mighty defenses? Commanders admitted the Gorinich drone brimmed with promise, poised to revolutionize their arsenal. It demanded refinements, like enhanced communication for pinpoint targeting, and a robust frame to endure turbulent skies even in fog-shrouded winds or freezing gales. But those upgrades flowed swiftly, embedding lasting purpose. Soon, Ukrainian forces unleashed Gorinich into genuine combat, striking Russian targets with unyielding fury. Details of these missions from 2023 remain shrouded in absolute secrecy. No public revelations exist, rendering precise damage estimates elusive. Yet, the creator divulged impacts on factories, armories, and fuel hubs. Reckoning total ruin between $3 to $5 billion. Imagine the Kremlin's elite squirming at losses that could fund entire wars elsewhere? Despite veil-like secrecy, fleeting visions of Gorinich emerged globally. In April 2024, visuals infiltrated Russian telegram channels, depicting an unmanned light craft crash-landed, belly up in a sprawling field. Its twisted fuselage bore scorch marks from the fire's greedy kiss. Among them, Russian military blogger Kirill Fedorov shared images confirming Ukraine's audacious tactic. He wrote, "This aircraft sports optics and clasps a high-explosive bomb. The pilot space now cradles electronics." As Fedorov observed, the snapshot showed its full metamorphosis from breezy recreational flyer to strategic predator. Did this signal Russia's awakening to a swarm of skyborne nightmares they couldn't outrun? The images ignited global aviation scrutiny. Experts swiftly identified it as a Sky Ranger, echoed in online theorizing. They drew parallels to other light planes, like the Yak-38 or Yak-141, known for vertical takeoffs but dwarfed in Gorinich's defiant reach. Whispers of transformation into a remote-controlled bomber drone buzzed. Analysts scrutinized details, debating enhancements that elevated it beyond whimsy. Did its humble roots in French skies hide the blueprint for dismantling empires? And with Ukraine forging such marvels from scrap, what vulnerabilities did Russia expose by their arrogance? Reaching farther, the Gorinich's 18-foot frame, nearly 31-foot wingspan, and reinforced to carry bombs farther than ever before, it challenged colossal forces with agile grace. Gorinich, once a business titan, now a phantom in the war's shadow, embodied Ukraine's unbreakable spirit. His journey from pandemic-induced flight dreams to sabotaging Russia's core ruptured any illusion of invincibility. As his creation struck refineries and silos with thunderous precision, the sting of humiliation lingered. But could one man's invention inspire a continent, or would Russia's retaliation twist fate into bitter irony? In recent days, a shocking new weapon has emerged, shifting the battlefield forever. Imagine an aircraft, once simple, now transformed into a deadly drone capable of unleashing destruction on entire military hubs. Experts worldwide are stunned. What was once recreational equipment now raises alarms of a new era of warfare. Could this be the future? Picture this, a sleek, almost silent aircraft gliding through the sky, its engine humming softly, a macabre contrast to the chaos it leaves behind. The aircraft is a Sky Ranger, a model originally designed for recreational flying, now repurposed into an advanced combat drone. Its fuselage, once filled with electronics for hobbyists, now hosts deadly weaponry and sophisticated autopilot systems. The smell of burning fuel, the crackle of radio signals, these figures have become weapons of strategic terror. An unexpected detail reveals itself. Stickered on the fuselage is the logo of a popular Ukrainian blogger. This small signature among thousands hints at a personal touch in a war driven by high tech, but also individual resolve. The man behind it is known as Gorinich, a name now whispered across military circles. His story is one of rapid transformation from businessman to clandestine engineer, driven by a fierce desire to defend his homeland. On October 6, 2025, it all reached a new climax. Gorinich's creation was unleashed against a vital Russian facility, the Sverdlov plant, near Nizhny Novgorod. This factory isn't just a building, it's the heart of Russia's explosive industry, producing deadly materials like RDX and HMX found in modern weaponry and advanced rocket systems. Destroying it threatens Russia's entire military supply chain. The attack was swift and precise. The drone approached silently, dropping its payload of high-explosive bombs weighing over 200 pounds. The sound of the detonation was deafening, smoke and flames billowed into the gray sky, leaving behind a trail of destruction. But Gorinich's project didn't stop there. The drone executed a kamikaze maneuver, crashing into the target and detonating a hidden thermobaric device. What drives a man like Gorinich? What secrets lie behind the creation of such a deadly machine? As specters of war grow darker, questions loom: are we witnessing the birth of an unstoppable force? And if so, how much longer before these flying weapons change the rules of engagement forever? This isn't just a story of technological innovation, it's a glimpse into a war where individual ingenuity tilts the balance. The skies are filling with silent killers, and the line between recreation and warfare has been blurred beyond recognition. One thing is certain, Gorinich's Sky Ranger has forever altered what war can become. A fierce attack unfolded at a key factory, a strike that shocked everyone watching. The aircraft, loaded with a massive 120-kilogram high-explosive payload, descended swiftly toward the targeted site. As it reached the factory's outskirts, it released its deadly cargo, bombs and mortar shells, before executing a daring kamikaze maneuver. Without a pilot behind the controls, the drone detonated a hidden thermobaric device, unleashing destruction in a split second. The air was filled with a deafening explosion, the ground trembled, and an acrid smell of burning fuel and scorched metal clung to the air. The robot aircraft disappeared into a cloud of smoke, leaving the factory in ruins and a trail of chaos behind. These attacks aren't limited to a single strike. Following the initial onslaught on October 6, a series of Gorinich drones targeted the same facility. Footage and photos flooded social media, flames licking the night sky and thick black smoke billowing over the city. Residents reported loud explosions echoing in the air, a haunting reminder of the relentless campaign. Ukrainian forces confirmed that the first attack intercepted about 20 drones, with debris sparking fires in nearby neighborhoods and injuring at least one person. But the next wave was even more devastating, over 30 drones destroyed, with debris smashing into buildings, farms, and vehicles. The resulting inferno was enormous, flickering like a hellish star against the night sky. The truth? Russian officials often hide the full scope of damage inflicted on their critical infrastructure. Many of these strikes, carried out by the same robotic bombers, remain classified. Yet, it's clear these machines are more than deadly, they're strategic game-changers. These fighters can strike deep into enemy territory, causing fires, explosions, and widespread destruction. Unlike manned aircraft, they don't need to risk themselves on risky nosedives. They drop their payloads and fly back home. No heroism required, just cold, precise, lethal engineering. Imagine the silence after a drone finishes its deadly mission. The only sounds now, crumbling concrete, distant sirens, and whispers of unseen chaos. The fires burn long into the night, casting flickering shadows across the wreckage. And as the dust settles, the question remains, how many more of these silent predators are prowling across the sky, ready to strike again? Their presence is a dark reminder that modern warfare has transformed, machines now lead the assault, and the battlefield is forever changed. In many cases, these drones don't need to sacrifice themselves in attack. They can strike targets and return safely, all without a pilot in the cockpit. This strategy makes them far more cost-effective than traditional missiles or kamikaze-style drones. Missiles are single-use, once fired, they either hit or are intercepted. Kamikaze drones chase their enemies, exploding on impact, often resulting in high costs and constant replacement. Ukraine faces a relentless challenge, producing and maintaining a large fleet of these weapons to replace those consumed in battle. But the Gorinich stands apart. It's a game-changer, more powerful than tiny drones, yet reusable. Each Sky Ranger kit costs only $50,000, with Ukrainian engineers adding extra fuel and systems. That's a remarkable value. Even Russia's advanced air defenses haven't managed to shoot down these bombers. Thanks to clever tactics and satellite navigation techniques, Gorinich slipped past defenses like the Panzer, the Buk, and the S-300. The 14th Regiment launches them confidently, knowing each drone has a high chance of success, delivering devastating damage while surviving the mission. They'll return to base, ready to refuel and rearm for the next strike. This clandestine warfare unfolds in shadows, far from the headlines. Gorinich bombers and countless other Ukrainian innovations create nightmares for the Kremlin. From deep within their hideouts, these aircraft unleash destruction that echoes through the enemy's corridors of power. The question remains, how long can even the most advanced defenses keep up? As these precision strikes continue, the balance of power may be shifting in ways nobody anticipated, with the skies becoming a battleground of ingenuity and defiance. In the hushed cloak of night, Ukrainian ingenuity unleashes chaos on Russia's heartlands. Bombs fall like wrathful thunder. Infrastructure crumbles under relentless blows. The Gorinich bomber, a dragon reborn from myth, wreaks havoc unseen. Whispers of smoke and flame rise from distant horizons. Can a single man's passion birth terror that humbles imperial giants? Picture the rumble of engines igniting in the pre-dawn chill. The acrid bite of aviation fuel hangs heavy in the air. Rough metal vibrates under fingers attaching those proud stickers. Each touch, a vow etched in defiance. Why does this architect of destruction still arrive at launch sites? Pride swells like a father's grin watching his creation soar. He fastens those tiny emblems. His heart pounds with the roar of turbines warming. The sharp sting of wind on exposed skin during fueling. A world away, people like him, innovators, dreamers, forge paths through the storm. Their clever twists outmaneuver foes. New weapons emerge to shield lands and retaliate. But what if one stroke from Gorinich tips the balance forever? The faint hum of props fades into legend. Yet, as the plane lifts, a shocking twist looms. Gorinich, not just a name, conceals a truth too perilous to share fully. In his final act, he sabotages a massive hidden base, sacrificing his anonymity for victory. The explosion shakes the earth, exposing secrets that shatter alliances. Flames dance in victory. Smoke chokes despair. Rubble groans underfoot as Russia's grip slips, undone by a dragon's final breath. After joining Ukraine's Special Operations Forces to conduct sabotage operations and reclaim territories, Gorinich reached out to his former flight instructor, Maxim, who eagerly signed on. They trained together, then deployed to the Donetsk region, where they operated unmanned aerial vehicles called Avenger drones. Have you ever imagined how a simple recreational flyer could transform into a legend of the skies, outsmarting foes in ways that leave them clueless and defeated? Picture the roar of engines echoing through quiet fields, the sharp tang of aviation fuel hitting your nostrils, the cold metal grips feeling alive under your fingers as destiny unfolds. That's the shock of the Avenger drones, light aircraft-style unmanned vehicles with a tactical range of about 25 miles, or 40 kilometers. They hurl payloads up to 8 pounds, or 3.5 kilograms, hitting targets precisely before gliding back with parachutes for safe landings. The crisp air whistles past your ears during those missions. With his pilot expertise, Gorinich spotted the Avenger's massive potential. He foresaw drones dominating the battlefield, predicting they could smash enemy resources. Why settle for ordinary when you could build something epic? He craved a strategic edge, pushing boundaries. The Avenger sparked brilliant ideas, but Gorinich dreamed bigger, a supercharged version darting far beyond, into hostile lands for pinpoint raids that crunch and crumble. He believed his talents could make it real. Did a businessman turned wartime inventor really hold the key to turning the tide? In early 2023, opportunity struck. Gorinich and Maxim split into separate special operations units. Maxim trained novices on Avenger tactics. Gorinich shifted to a hub near Bakhmut, diving into a project that would redefine conflict. He hunted a foundational aircraft, a canvas for modification. The choice? The French Sky Ranger, boasting stellar specs and a $50,000 DIY kit, far cheaper than rivals. Next, assembling skilled engineers to repurpose it. Could these creators envision their plane as a game-changer? The default setup screamed ordinary, it demanded overhauls. Autos emerged for solo flights, takeoff, maneuvers, landing sans pilot. Extra fuel extended journeys. Imagine the smooth whir of systems aligning, the faint buzz of upgrades vibrating through your palms, the anticipation building like a storm. Military navigation locked in target paths. Communications linked every detail. Then, the core additions for impactful strikes. Transforming a leisure craft into an aerial powerhouse. And against all odds, they succeeded. Twist, who could have guessed a pandemic hobbyist, not a war machine builder, would wield such genius to expose the enemy's weaknesses? Cliffhanger, as Gorinich accessed old surpluses from the arsenal, he discovered something dormant and deadly, waiting to ignite his vision, but would red tape derail it all, leaving the skies silent once more? Imagine a sleek, ultralight aircraft gliding silently through the sky, seemingly harmless, yet secretly transformed into a fierce weapon capable of wiping out entire enemy assets. This is the story of how a simple hobby spiraled into a groundbreaking revolution of aerial warfare, shaking the foundations of modern conflict. The aircraft in question is inspired by the Sky Ranger, a marvel of design. Compact, measuring just 18 feet long with a wingspan of over 31 feet, it's a favorite among beginner pilots and aviation enthusiasts worldwide. Powered by an MQ-9 Reaper engine producing nearly 80 horsepower, it cruises at around 93 miles per hour. Rising at a steady 900 feet per minute, it can reach altitudes that give it a strategic edge. These aircraft are light, agile, and nimble, perfect for thrill seekers or novice flyers. But sometimes, the most unassuming tools become the deadliest when in the hands of innovation. Few could have guessed that this aircraft would someday serve as the backbone of a formidable military project, unleashing destruction on a scale previously thought impossible. This isn't just about technology, it's about a man, cloaked in secrecy, who turned dreams into a dangerous new reality. Born in western Ukraine, he traversed a complex childhood. Moving across distant regions, he sought stability before studying economics. His success soared, owning multi-million-dollar enterprises and enjoying a life of luxury. But fate had other plans. The pandemic in 2020 shattered his business empire overnight. Confined to his home, he stumbled upon a new passion, aviation. Hours turned into obsession as he watched online videos, dreaming of flying. Driven by a relentless curiosity, he enrolled in a private pilot's course. The airfields of Ukraine, shuttered at first, soon opened new opportunities. Wealthy entrepreneurs and ambitious civilians flocked to flying schools, eager to take to the skies. Among them was our protagonist. His bond with his trainer, Maxim, grew strong. Maxim, a lifelong aviation fanatic, shared his dreams of flying from a young age. Together, they spent long hours talking about aircraft, engines, and the endless possibilities the sky held. Jacob's obsession deepened. He earned his pilot's license, feeling the thrill of flight pulse through his veins. A new world had opened for him, one where the aircraft wasn't bound by rules of peaceful recreation alone. He envisioned a different purpose, transforming these airplanes into precision tools of war. On a smoky summer evening, standing in his makeshift workshop, he stared at his aircraft. It was supposed to be a recreational craft, but now, he saw potential for something more radical. He wanted to build a drone, a flying weapon with the ability to strike deep behind enemy lines. One that could carry devastating payloads, reaching farther than any existing drone in his arsenal. He knew the technology existed. Small, inexpensive kits like the Sky Ranger could be modified. With a team of skilled engineers, he set out to upgrade these aircraft. Larger fuel tanks to extend range. Advanced autopilot systems enabling autonomous flights. Military-grade navigation units ensuring pinpoint accuracy. And most critically, he obtained Soviet-era bombs, powerful enough to cause chaos, yet compact enough to fit into his design. The challenge was immense. Turning a hobby aircraft into a precision strike drone meant rewriting the rules. The team worked tirelessly, day and night, amidst the hum of engines and scents of fuel and metal shavings. The aircraft's sleek body now hid a deadly secret. As he prepared to deploy his creation, he faced hurdles. Official channels resisted his plans, citing military politics and regulations. Yet, he persisted. His breakthrough came when a special unit of the Ukrainian armed forces recognized the potential of his project. The 14th Regiment of Unmanned Systems was born from a coalition of visionaries who believed in the power of drones. Under the command of leaders named Fidel and Casper, this unit sought to redefine warfare. In a heavily guarded training ground, the prototype took its first flight. The engine roared quietly, like a beast awakening. It soared smoothly, executing precise maneuvers before unleashing its payload on a mock target, a steel skeleton of a tank. The impact was deafening, the shockwave echoed across the field, underscoring the weapon's devastating potential. Now, a new chapter begins. The question echoes, could this small aircraft change the course of a war? Could innovation and determination create a new era of aerial combat? The answer is uncertain, but one thing is clear, the sky is no longer a limit, but a battlefield. After joining Ukraine's elite special forces to carry out sabotage missions and reclaim territory, Gorinich reached out to an old friend, his former flight instructor, Maxim. Without hesitation, Maxim agreed to join. Together, they underwent intense training, preparing for a mission that would change everything. Their deployment took them to the tumultuous landscapes of Donetsk, where unmanned aircraft known as Avengers operated. These sleek, lightweight drones, resembling mini aircraft, had a tactical range of about 25 miles or 40 kilometers. They carried payloads up to 8 pounds, or 3.5 kilograms, striking with pinpoint accuracy before parachuting safely back to the ground. Imagine that shrill whistle of wind during a mission, the metallic click of the drone systems humming to life. Gorinich, with his aviation background, immediately saw the enormous potential of these devices. He envisioned them not just as tools, but as weapons capable of reshaping the battlefield. Why settle for standard when you could engineer something truly revolutionary? His mind raced with possibilities. He dreamed of a supercharged version, an advanced bomber that could venture deep into enemy lines, delivering precise, destructive strikes that vaporize military targets. Could a man who once owned a successful business become a hero who revives a nation? The stakes had never been higher, and opportunity presented itself in early 2023. Gorinich and Maxim were assigned to separate units. While Maxim dedicated himself to training new drone operators on Avengers, Gorinich shifted focus to a secret project. He sought a base aircraft, something affordable, versatile, and easy to modify. His choice, the French-built Sky Ranger, a simple yet impressive craft available in DIY kits for around $50,000. It was a fraction of the cost of military-grade aircraft, but its potential was enormous. Could ordinary parts be turned into tools of war? Gorinich assembled a team of talented engineers, masters of modification, to overhaul the Sky Ranger. They knew it wasn't enough to use it as is, it needed major upgrades. An autopilot system was installed, allowing the drone to take off, perform maneuvers, and land on its own. Additional fuel tanks extended its range, giving it the ability to reach farther targets. What does the inside of such a vessel feel like? The hum of new systems buzzing beneath your fingertips, the faint scent of fresh wiring and oil, anticipation tightening the chest as the future takes shape. Military-grade navigation and communication devices were added, ensuring the bomber could find and strike targets with deadly precision. And then came the critical modifications, the payloads, the bombs designed to devastate. Gorinich's team accessed surplus Soviet-era aviation munitions, fitting their drone with powerful bombs capable of leveling strategic targets. The transformation from hobby plane to stealth bomber was nearly complete. Against all odds, they pulled it off. The question remains, who would have imagined that a hobbyist, initially just a pandemic-driven flyer, could engineer such a weapon? Could a man with no military training become an essential part of the war effort? The twist? As Gorinich gained access to the military's old cache of weapons, he uncovered something dormant, a relic of destruction waiting to be awakened. But there's a looming obstacle. Bureaucratic red tape and political barriers threaten to halt this daring venture. Will his creation take to the skies before it's silenced forever? Imagine a creature from ancient tales, multiple heads, fire-breathing, destruction raining down on enemies. Now, picture that legend coming to life in the skies over Ukraine, a powerful, homemade missile aircraft tearing through Russian infrastructure with relentless precision. This isn't myth, it's real. It's a game-changing weapon, a true marvel of ingenuity and defiance, striking fear into the heart of an unstoppable adversary. Meet the Sky Ranger, a sleek ultralight aircraft born from French innovation. Since its debut in 1990, this small but mighty craft has traveled the world, used for everything from recreation to training elite pilots. Measuring just 18 feet long and with a wingspan over 31 feet, the Sky Ranger is surprisingly versatile, lightweight, and fast, capable of reaching speeds of nearly 93 miles per hour and climbing up to 900 feet per minute. Its smooth engine hums like a predator on the hunt, ready for action. But Ukrainian engineers had other plans. They saw potential, massive, destructive potential, in this aircraft. A skilled craftsman with a dream. They refused to accept that this nimble plane was only for fun. Soon, it became the foundation of something far darker. A revolutionary weapon, an autonomous bomber. A drone that could soar into enemy territory, carry deadly payloads, and return untouched, or become a kamikaze beast if needed. The mastermind behind this transformation is a mysterious man, born in western Ukraine, who once enjoyed luxury and success in business. But the invasion changed everything. Driven by patriotism and ingenuity, he turned his passion for flying into a weapon of war. He and his team retrofitted the Sky Ranger with military-grade navigation, autopilot systems, and heavy-duty bombs, ready to obliterate strategic targets miles behind enemy lines. Their goal wasn't just to reply to aggression, it was to dominate. to turn the skies into a battlefield where speed, precision, and innovation rule. With each modification, the aircraft grew more lethal. They used Soviet-era bombs, upgraded systems, and tailored software to make this drone nearly unstoppable. They aimed to push the limits, to create a weapon no one expected from such a petite craft. A special operations unit, formed from brave volunteers and cutting-edge strategists, now flies this aircraft, deep into hostile territory, striking with calculated fury. It's a daring plan, an aerial revolution. Every sortie leaves behind smoke and chaos, making enemies tremble. This isn't just technology, it's an emblem of resilience, a symbol of defiance, a dragon rising from folklore to conquer modern warfare. What's next? As this silent predator takes to the skies, who can stop it? How many more targets will it take down? The story of this aircraft isn't over. Each flight, each mission, shifting the balance of power in a war that's redefining the future of combat. Watch closely, because what you've seen so far is only the beginning of a new era in aerial warfare.